Across the country, Brits are facing an ever-present and ever-evolving danger: scams. And because we all now do so much online, whether it's shopping from the sofa or banking on the bus, every one of us is at risk. We're constantly carrying around sensitive personal information right here in our pockets. But that also means that wherever we are, whatever we're doing, scammers are out to get us. I'm Alexis Conrad. In this series, I'm crisscrossing the UK to learn your stories. The cruel. How much did you pay?
4,400.
I just fell for it, hook, line and sinker, really.
The creepy.
They had my signature on this contract, and I was just really dumbfounded.
And the crazy.
The fake account trying to say that your account is fake.
Because I didn't post saying that they were fake.
I'm going to teach you to better protect yourselves.
We need to know, verify, verify, verify.
How to get your money back.
Very simple service here. It's 159 from any mobile phone.
And how other people are taking up the fight.
That's genius! I'm also going to dig a little deeper to try and explain how and why these scams work. Because whether they text you, email you, phone you, or post in your timeline, there are ways of spotting scammers for who they are.
In this program, I investigate the impact scams have on their victims.
I was in a state of pure panic.
We take a look at the news stories scammers are taking advantage of.
There's so many people that have been ripped off this way.
And I show you how to take back control and keep yourself safe online.
My phone never went near that website. I had nothing to do with it. I know that I can safely delete that email.
Scammers don't always grab our attention with a call or a text. They often lie in wait on the UK's most popular online meeting platforms.
Just think about this. This country's got roughly 67 million people in it, and we're quite a social bunch because just over 55.8 million people have got a Facebook account. That is a staggering 83% of the population.
And that's not all. The way we get information has evolved. TikTok is the fastest growing video app for Gen Zs, with the average UK user spending 49 minutes watching videos each day. And 85% of Twitter users log into the platform for their daily news.
And for the scammers, that's a very big target to aim at.
I've been travelling the length and breadth of the UK, meeting scam victims who have shared their horror stories so others won't fall for the same tricks. From Belfast to Birmingham, the stories may be different, but the principles of these scams are similar. Since early 2020, life as we know it has changed and our digital footprint has increased. And with more social media apps moving into the e-commerce sector, we can now do our shopping via the same apps we use to connect with friends and family. Savvy shopper Nereus from Scunthorpe turned to an online marketplace to buy his family's new car.
We bought like tens of items from there. We never got bad experience. We never got dodgy seller. We never got anything bad, to be honest. So we didn't think that something could be wrong.
Nereus came across a profile belonging to someone calling themselves Mandy Williams. Mandy was selling a whole host of cars on behalf of a third-party website, and all of them at knockdown prices.
So it was 2016 BMW i3. The car was half of market value. I said, are you scammers or something like that, because you're selling vehicles pretty cheap? They explained that it's repossessed vehicles.
Mandy told Nereus that in order to buy the car, he needed to contact the website directly. So he started messaging them outside the marketplace. In order to get their hands on Nereus's cash, the scammers needed to get him off the app.
They were very, I would say, friendly but professional man at the same time. They are not push at all, and they kind of had answer for absolutely everything you're asking for.
Before paying for the car, Nereus checked the company out online.
On the website, he had company number, so I went to company house to double check. Company name corresponded with what's on website. I've checked for profit and losses. Okay, that's fine. They said the money gonna go through Stripe, so I've googled scams using Stripe. Nothing came up, so it's kind of reassuring.
Nereus was right to carry out these extra checks. When you're making a purchase online, always check who you're sending your money to.
I think I've did pretty much all my homework, so I can send my money now.
He sent the company £5,330 and was promised his car would be delivered by a driver in 2 days' time.
I'm having an hour to test drive it, and if I'm not happy, they are taking it back and the money comes back to my account. If I am happy, money obviously stays with them.
Nereus waited and waited for his new car to arrive.
It was like 3 in the afternoon. I haven't received any email or message from driver, so I just dropped a quick email saying what time they're gonna be here, and they just replied pretty fast actually that the driver is somewhere on the busy road and vehicle should be by the evening. I became anxious, and about 8 in the evening I called my bank. I said, I think I've been scammed.
By the time Nereus realized that he had been scammed, his cash had vanished into thin air, and so had Mandy Williams. I looked up the owner of the vehicle website. It's a man, and he isn't called Mandy Williams. So how was he able to set up a fake account in someone else's name?
I'm just going to show you how easy it is to set up a fake account. Now, I am going to use an email that is a disposable email. They are designed to sort of help you avoid giving your own email. What shall I be called? Mandy Williams. Mandy Williams. And I need a picture. And I'm going to use a computer-generated image. Oh yeah, she looks nice. I'm going to be her. And there we go. I can create a social media profile in literally no time using an email address that can't be traced to me, a photograph that can't be traced to me. It is just so easy.
This is a common occurrence across many social media platforms. As their popularity soars, so do the numbers of scammers attempting to take advantage of innocent users. And speaking of innocent, to anyone really called Mandy Williams out there, don't worry. We know you have nothing to do with these scams.
I feel like I failed because it took not hour, not 2, but it took, a few days because the overall correspondence was like over 3 days period. So I thought I've done more than enough, but apparently it was not true. It was stressful. At the time, that meant that we are having just a few £100 in account. You think if something suddenly would hit you, you wouldn't have, money to live by.
In 2021 alone, fake sellers cost the UK an eye-watering £64.1 million. And of that amount, 56.8 million was lost by those paying via their personal bank accounts. Just over a third of people got their money back. Nereus reported the fake profile, but you'll never guess what happened next.
Since we've been filming, we've been looking at the Mandy Williams account. Now, the modus operandi seems to be to attract someone through the marketplace and then ask them to leave the platform and do business directly. And for that, they've set up various websites. But a quick search on Trustpilot really shows you that whoever this Mandy Williams is has been up to the same old tricks over and over again. Also, when you look at online reviews, so we have a couple here, 1-star review, the title of it is Absolute Scam. Nailed it there, but they continue. They have no cars for sale. Do yourself a favor and save the stress of you trying to get your money or your deposit back. And that was posted only a few months ago. Many of us spent the pandemic staring at the same four walls, wishing for the opportunity to just fly away. Well, in 2021, Brits spent a staggering £15.5 billion on holidays. That's a 13% increase on the year before. But for some unfortunate holidaymakers, scammers came along for the ride.
I've come to Glasgow to meet Lynn, whose trip of a lifetime became a never-ending nightmare.
Tell me about how this all began.
I hadn't had a holiday for a couple of years. My son has a serious bone marrow condition and I've had skin cancer myself. That's why we thought pushing the boat out, you just don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So this was a really special holiday. We booked a villa in March, quite an expensive villa for us, but we thought treat ourselves.
And this is the villa that Lynn booked. Doesn't it look nice?
All seemed to go fine. I was told that I had to make a bank transfer, so I made the transfer in March and all was good.
How much did you pay?
$4,400.
This is a classic part of many scams, getting someone to pay via bank transfer. The money moves instantly, making it far harder to get back.
5 days before I was due to travel, I got an email from this agent to say, really sorry, I'm going to have to cancel your booking. The owner is suffering from psychological issues. I have no option but to cancel your booking. Yes, I was assured I would get a refund. You can imagine, I was in a state of pure panic. So managed to find eventually another property, but we had to spend quite a lot of extra money.
So you are severely out of pocket now.
$4,400 to begin with.
To begin with.
And then another $5,800 for the second.
Okay, so did you get to go on holiday?
Yes, we did. And
Was it
we
nice?
had a brilliant time.
Good.
Fantastic time.
When the family arrived, they decided to pay a visit to the villa they had originally booked.
We went up a little dusty track and we found the villa and it was completely abandoned. The gates were tied up with rope, there was no water in the pool, the garden was completely overgrown, looked as if it hadn't been watered for months and months. So we knew then, and we thought we've been scammed here. There was no way that in the beginning of June she was ever expecting us to go and stay in this villa. We were shocked and I was really angry at that point.
It's one of the oldest tricks in the scammer's handbook. Take thousands of pounds for a product or service that you have no intention of providing.
I contacted my bank and alerted them to the fact I thought I'd been scammed, but they said, well, you'll need to wait and see if the refund comes through.
Right.
This was when the saga just began. It was always tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow.
Over the course of nearly 4 months, Lynn tried to recoup the money she had shelled out for the property.
Did your bank acknowledge that you'd been scammed?
No, my bank actually told me that I hadn't been scammed because I used a reputable company, so they wouldn't take it any further.
Sorry, say that again. So your bank said to you that you had been scammed because you'd used a reputable company?
Yep. They said that they didn't deem it to be a scam, and that was the end of it.
Hang on, had you paid for any other service and not received it, that's a scam.
Exactly. Bizarre. I couldn't believe it when I got the message from them.
3 months after Lynn booked her holiday, she received a screen grab of what appeared to be a bank transfer. Now, even though the money never appeared in her account, the website where Lynn found the property refused to help.
Time is just going on, continually, daily phoning, getting agents that obviously didn't understand me really. We put the phone down as soon as I started asking the question, would shout at me. It was
They were shouting
They
at
were
you?
shouting at me.
Why were they shouting?
Because I wasn't listening to what they were saying. They just kept saying, according to our records, you've received a refund. And I said, no, I haven't. They asked me to
So now
prove...
they're thinking that you're the scammer.
Yes, that's what I was feeling. I was the victim. They said to me, we think you might be trying to get a double refund. And I thought, you think I would phone you this number of times and go through all this just to try and get money back twice? I said, I just want the money back once. This is just ridiculous.
Frustrated by the website's failure to act, Lynn took to social media.
I put things on Twitter, I went on to Facebook, and I continually emailed the chief executive.
Did you get a response from him?
I did. Somebody from his office, a senior agent, actually phoned me and said she would make it top priority.
This was a great move by Lynn. By taking to social media and contacting the head of the company, she made sure her complaint was amplified and, crucially, made it to someone who had the power to help her.
They promised me a refund, but still didn't get the money. And eventually I got a response which said, sorry, we won't be able to refund you. It's quite a lot of money and we suggest you take court action. And I was like, I don't know what to do here.
Finally, the company is on the same page as Lynn, agreeing that £4,400 is a lot of money to lose. But it's a pity they can't seem to help her with getting it back.
What impact did that have on your life?
It was terrible. I mean, I was so stressed out. I mean, I was in tears a lot of the time on the phone. I thought, I'm never going to get this money back. And we're not talking just a couple of £100. This is thousands. And now I'm so anxious, I think, whenever I'll go on holiday again, because I'm so afraid that the same thing will happen. And I like to think I'm quite sort of savvy with the internet security and everything. But I never thought that using a big company that I could get scammed like this.
Coming up, I take a look at one of the latest cost of living scams doing the rounds, intercepting workers' tax rebate entitlements.
She told me that it was apparently being sent to this company that I'd never heard of.
People who want to get their hands on our money are forever adapting their tactics in line with societal trends. And since 2021, they have cost the UK a whopping £1.3 billion. They are now tapping into a tax rebate millions of us can claim for working from home.
The pandemic forced us to take a lot of our lives online, from our 9 to 5 to our social lives. But this change in our working circumstances gave scammers an opportunity to con thousands of people out of their hard-earned cash.
While he was working from home, Jamie found himself at the receiving end of some shady practice.
I was laying on the sofa late one evening, and I had an advertisement come up, offering to do an assessment for a tax rebate. And because I was working from home, I was vaguely aware that I think I should have been eligible for one.
Many people claim directly from the taxman, but it's perfectly legal for a third party or nominee to claim it for you in exchange for a cut of the money. Normally, these companies are clear and upfront about the deal they offer.
What did the advert look like? Can you describe it to me?
Yeah, it looked as if it was done by HMRC themselves.
Did it say HMRC on there or anywhere on the advert?
I don't believe it actually said the HMRC, but I think that they used HMRC fonts and the colour schemes.
By adopting the colours and style of a government website, they tried to make themselves look official and legitimate.
So you clicked on the advert, and what happened? Did it take you to a web page?
Yeah, I think it took me to a landing page where I then filled out information where I worked and earnings and stuff like that. But then they've started asking for more information, and then I grew a little bit suspicious, and then decided to abandon the process entirely.
Jamie was right to walk away as soon as his suspicions were raised. But he wasn't out of danger yet.
I just left it to the back of my mind, and then my partner received a notification through our tax credits that I was due a tax rebate, and I was delighted. But then she told me that it was apparently being sent to this company that I'd never heard of. So I phoned up HMRC and I queried this. I was just like, well, why is my rebate being sent to these people? And they said that I'd put them as my nominee. And I was just like, how could I have put these people as my nominee? I've never heard of them before.
Just to recap, Jamie now had a nominee he never signed up for, and they've pocketed his tax rebate. Even worse, they're allowed to claim all tax rebates on his behalf forever. Thousands of pounds over time. with no indication of how much they'd ever pass on to him.
It was a legally binding kind of contract.
Legally binding contract between whom? Between you and this company?
Yes, apparently so. They were still on file as like a nominee, so that could have claimed future like rebates on my behalf. I opened like a case with action fraud. I spoke with the police, all of which like amounted to nothing. I just wanted, I wanted to be heard.
Jamie decided he wasn't going to let these people win and took matters into his own hands.
No one likes to be taken advantage of, and I think especially in the times that we're all kind of facing now with this cost of living crisis, I didn't want to let them kind of continue silencing their victims. So I researched the kind of companies myself and published my research in a blog, and I found other people on a Facebook group, and it was both shocking and a comfort to know that I wasn't alone.
Thank you, Jamie. Well, that was extremely frustrating. Imagine a bunch of people decide, I know what we'll do. We'll get them somehow to make us the claimants for stuff that they're entitled to for free, and we'll just take it from them. It's just despicable.
HMRC cancelled Jamie's contract with the company, and thanks in part to his bringing this to their attention, they've discovered 60,000 other people in the same boat and are helping them with their refunds. Jamie was reeled into this nightmare by clicking on an unfamiliar link. I'm going to show you how to see if any link is legit.
Many of the scams that we see start by someone clicking on a bad link, a bad URL. So I've got an email here. It's from HMRC. It says that I'm due £5,000 and it's got a link here, claim your payments today. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a long press on here, which allows me to copy the link. Once I've copied the link, I'm going to go to a website called urlscan.io. I'm then going to paste that link in there, and I'm going to ask this website to see what's there. What it's going to do is it's going to take a snapshot of the homepage, who runs it. And look, I can see the screenshot. It's got nothing to do with HMRC. It's got to do with pool supplies. Also, I can see that its submission for its certificate is on the 29th of September of this year. So actually, it's not HMRC. My phone never went near that website. I had nothing to do with it. I know that I can safely delete that email.
The internet doesn't just link up computers and phones. More and more devices in our homes are now online as well.
Nearly 60% of UK homes contain a smart device, with 1 in 6 of us accessing those devices using our mobile phones, sometimes when we're miles and miles away from our homes. Now, if you and I can access those devices remotely, what's stopping scammers doing exactly the same thing?
Grace from Which has brought along some of the smart devices popping up most frequently in homes up and down the country.
I have to say, I'm quite fond of CCTV outdoor cameras. You can install them yourself and give yourself a sort of an added layer of security. So what's wrong with this one?
Well, this has a default password. So it actually says this on here. It says password is admin.
Okay.
So pretty easy to guess.
Okay, but we should say in all seriousness, you're meant to change it.
You are meant to change it, yeah. But lots of people don't.
I love the fact that they've put it on the camera.
Yeah.
So I could just log into that and just erase the footage that's just been captured of me burgling you.
We did contact the manufacturer and they have now changed their process. So you do have to change the password from being default to being something else.
Right.
But there's probably lots of people who bought this or something similar to this, which has a similar problem. Whenever you're setting a password for anything, an email account, anything, change it to something complicated like 3 random words, or choose a password manager, which does it all for you and remembers all these really complex passwords so that you don't have to.
And it's not just hackers you need to be wary of. Some manufacturers are even getting in on scams by preying on people's worries around rising costs of living.
What on earth is that?
This is a device which claims to save you money off your electricity bills, which obviously sounds great at the moment because energy bills are so high.
Okay.
It claims to smooth the voltage on your appliances, which optimises them and then reduces your energy bill.
So what?
It sounds great, right?
It optimises your what?
It optimises the efficiency of your appliances.
That sounds like absolute nonsense. And what are you meant to do with it?
Well, you're supposed to just plug it in.
Any socket in your house?
Yeah,
And it magically optimises your devices?
yeah. But so it says.
How much do they cost?
Between £10 and £20.
10 and 20 pounds?
And not only does it not do anything, they're actually dangerous because they don't comply to British electrical safety standards. So it could electrocute you or start a fire.
Oh my goodness.
This is one of the many fake devices promising to save you energy and money, but, surprise, surprise, there is zero evidence to support these claims. In fact, there is nothing to say they do anything other than potentially pose a safety risk within your home. If you've purchased one of these so-called energy-saving devices, stop using it right away.
We love our grub here in the UK, with 3/4 of us ordering a takeaway at least once a week. Now, 50% of 18 to 34-year-olds use third-party apps on their phones in order to get their takeaways. So that is big business. Those third-party apps made billions of pounds in 2021. And of course, that is an opportunity way too big for scammers to miss out on.
Small businesses rely on these apps to stay afloat. If someone manages to interrupt that money coming in, it can be devastating. Joe from Belfast found that out the hard way. Joe gets up to 60% of his income via his food delivery portal. So naturally, he's very careful about who has access to his account.
The portal I would check daily because we have reviews coming in. There's only one person that has the login details, and that's myself. And it's strange that if they haven't got my login details, how were they able to do it?
In December 2021, Joe received a call from someone who claimed to be from the delivery company.
They said that I had a problem with my portal.
Fraudsters use this trick time and time again. By using language you would typically associate with a trusted organization, they throw out false statements in the hope that you reveal the information they're really after.
They asked me for login details. I went, why would they ask me for login details? I then smelt a bit of a rat, and then I put the phone down.
Joe was right to trust his instincts and hang up the phone. The second he knew something was up, he ended the call, stopping the scammers in their tracks. By early 2022, Joe's December earnings from the app had still not been paid into his account, so he contacted the delivery company.
Said they would sort it out. The phone call came back to me. Oh, the money's in your account, Mr. Morgan. I says, it's not. So I put the phone down and went to my laptop and checked the portal, and the bank account name had changed to Joseph Morgan and a different bank, which was Lloyd's, which we don't have in the north of Ireland. My company name should have been there. I don't understand how somebody was able to open an account in my name and take the money out.
Between the 24th of December and the 21st of January, the scammer's account pocketed £9,715.75 from 5 payments that should have been paid to Joe.
I taught IT, and one of my classes was on internet security. I know not to give login details out or passwords out or even emails out. I wouldn't do it. My missus does not know my password to get into my laptop. There's nobody else that lives in my house. The only person that has contact with that laptop is me. I had to go and borrow the money to keep my shop afloat. I had to cut hours for staff. It nearly cost me my business. I still have to pay the loan back.
I wanted to ask Michael Henderson from the Northern Ireland Takeaway Association what he knew of this scam.
Job was the first case. When we asked other members regarding this fraud issue, this is where, unfortunately, more cases came to light.
Yeah.
To our knowledge, there's over 12 incidents of fraud. Mm-hmm. There's 12 takeaway owners there who's lost over £100,000, who are struggling to keep their doors open during this cost of business crisis.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. Some of these takeaway owners, it ranges from £5,000 to over £50,000. One takeaway owner in Belfast lost over £52,000 in this fraud case.
That is a lot of money.
This past year has been the toughest year in the takeaway sector. These takeaway owners started 2022 on the back foot. Mm-hmm. They started in minus because of this, and they had to try to catch up in this worrying times. I understand the 2 takeaways have closed due to this.
Since this has all come to light, which has been quite some time now, are you having more and more cases come up, or have the cases stopped?
Unfortunately, we're still hearing some cases.
So the scam continues?
Yes.
It's quite frustrating listening to Michael there, because in most scams we have a good idea of what's happened, or we can put the pieces together, but in this one, we're totally in the dark, really.
Although Joe insists he used strong passwords and kept them safe, many people out there just don't. And even for those who do, scammers are constantly finding a new way to steal that vital information from us. Ax Sharma is a security researcher who keeps tabs on these threats.
Ax, you've got something to show me.
Yes, it's called a browser-in-browser phishing attack. It gives the impression to the end user that they're on a legitimate website when they're not.
So for someone who has no idea, describe it to us. What is it?
Many times services let you sign into them. So I'll show you a real example. When you look at, say, Dropbox, there's a continue with Google that launches a pop-up right here that you can use too. But the key aspect here is, if you pay attention, there's an accounts.google.com link in the address bar which tells the end user they're on the real website.
Yeah.
That's how you distinguish a phishing website from a real one, right? Now, the way browser-in-browser works is, say, I landed on this page and I click sign in with Google. Looks pretty legitimate. It looks just like a local MacBook window. The accounts.google.com link is also there, so the victim would not know that they're on the wrong website. Obviously, the attacker will get their hands on your emails, your Google Drive, photos, but also the services you've logged into with Gmail or your Google email address. So
I wouldn't be able to tell the difference at all. I mean, there's nothing in there to tell me that that's not a legitimate Google sign-in box.
Ax has created a fake website to highlight the clues you need to be aware of anytime you're entering your password details online.
You have to realize a lot of these phishing pages that are available online, they're open source, and they're often shared by researchers or defenders, I should say, with a positive intention. But if somebody has malicious intentions, they could modify it to their advantage.
Okay. I mean, how long did it take you to put this together?
Just under an hour.
Under an hour?
Yes, the ready-made phishing kit. There are some ways to protect yourself against such attacks, but yeah, just visually, it's very similar to the real thing. The box is designed in such a way to make it as closely resemble the real address bar and your native pop-ups as possible.
Okay, so what happens when I click onto that and I put my email and password and click sign in?
The attacker gets it. I got some this morning.
So you'll get an email with my details on that?
Basically, and if you have two-factor, there are ways I could also, say, ask you for your two-factor code, and then you'll take a look in the app, and then you'll enter the code, click next, I'll get the code. Now, of course, that leaves me with a little window, right? Say if I was a hacker, it only gives me, say, 30 or 60 seconds to log in with your two-factor code.
What do we tell people? How do they protect themselves from this?
Well, I think this attack has taken phishing to a whole other level because phishing relies on, visual similarity, but this even fakes the pop-up itself. So one neat way is you try to drag it around. You try to resize your browser window. If the pop-up cannot escape the browser window, it's a fake. If you take a look, because the real one, if we try the same thing with the real one, it will escape the browser window.
That's genius! I like that! That's a solution. That's actually a solution that works.
There's also another, far less technical solution for helping stop new scams on the block, as Grace from Which explains.
A lot of people perhaps feel embarrassed to have fallen for a scam. They're going to be judged for it. How do we change people's minds there?
There is a lot of stigma attached to being the victim of a scam and reporting it. But so many people fall victim to scams, and they're really sophisticated. Any big thing that affects sort of the population that you see in the news, we had it with COVID, now we have it with energy bills, you're likely to get a scam around it. And they seem really convincing, they catch you off guard.
How important is it to get people to report scams, even if they're tiny, even if they've lost a fraction of money?
It's really important because it may only be a fraction of money to one person, but if that scammer is scamming hundreds of thousands of people, the amount of money that they're actually taking is huge.
Throughout the show, we have heard some terrible stories that saw scammers pocket thousands of pounds from their victims. Let's go back to our map and see how everyone's getting on now.
Nereus spent just over £5,000 on a car that didn't exist. Now, because he'd done so much due diligence, the bank decided that he'd done enough and they gave him a full refund. At the time of recording, I'm sad to say that Joe is still out of pocket. And what's more worrying is we still don't know how the scammers were able to get their hands on his business takings. Lynn kept on at the company, writing emails, making phone calls, and even went as far as emailing the CEO's office. She was constantly keeping at them until the point where they felt they had no choice but to reimburse her. The good news is that Jamie did get a full refund.
Now, he got this from the company in return for taking down his blog post. I wonder if this is the first time a victim has turned the tables through blackmail.
Perhaps, but at least he's not out of pocket.
Next time, a sneaky scam on social media.
It just felt like someone just came in and just took something from my house without asking me.
A woman who has her heart stolen along with her money.
He was frantic.
Right.
He started off like, how much money have you got in your bank, Maria?
And how to spot a celebrity scam in your timeline.
Is Kim Kardashian really reaching out to me in a private message asking me to invest in her new cosmetics line? Unlikely.